Last night, I finally got to see W.A.S.P live. I always liked W.A.S.P very much indeed, but they were never in my top list of priorities. I always went for the Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, Joel Crimson, Priest, Maiden, that kind of stuff, Lizzie, Heap, Lowest Cult, right? Return to Forever, Weather Report, this kind of Vishnu, things of that nature. But I also do like a good, fast, hard-banging heavy metal if it's good, and especially W.A.S.P. I always considered them the best American heavy metal band. So last night I pulled the trigger and went to see them. Relatively small venue, which I was very, very happy about. The band was good, they played good, but first let me talk about the opening band. Armored Saint is a band that bypassed me, or maybe I bypassed them all the years. I heard about them, I heard good things about them, I kind of knew about them in the back of my head, but I never really got to check them out. And I was happy because I think that the normal openers of the tour on some sort of death metal, thrash metal bands, which is totally not my cup of tea. And so these guys were special guests. They're opening on only a handful of concerts. I think the previous night they played in Boise, where I originally planned on going to see them. But anyway, I got there at the opening and I was immediately impressed. Very, very sort of an Americanized version of a Priest, Maiden kind of band. They started much earlier than it was kind of in my imagination. I think that their first record came out in 83, 84. So same time, maybe even a little bit earlier than W.A.S.P. Very solid band. As soon as they went out, the sound was good. They played good. Very solid band. Of all the musicians, I was most impressed with the bass player. Pretty fluid, pretty melodic, and they have quite a number of songs that are kind of conductive to a good bass. But of course, there's also a lot of sections and songs that are kind of normal or regular heavy metal, where the bass is just stomping on the rhythm. I was very impressed. Didn't like the singer at all, but if this is not the first video you're watching, you know that I'm not a huge fan of vocals. But this singer somehow, as a front man, the way he presented himself, the way he moved, and the vocals themselves, of course, that did not make a big impression on me. But a good band, and I'll probably gonna check out most of their records because they sounded very good. So I'm happy, and I was very, very pleasantly surprised by this band, Armored Saint. So W.A.S.P, they are on the Album 1 live tour, so they playing the entire first record, which is very, very popular with the W.A.S.P crowd. And funnily enough, it's among my least favorite W.A.S.P albums. When I first heard W.A.S.P's first record, it was kind of a disappointment because I definitely got the two after it, Electric Circus and Last Command, and probably Headless Children, before I got the first one. And I was kind of disappointed. It sounded like very juvenile, sounded like a bunch of high schoolers ran away from school and just banged out an album in the break or when they were cutting school. It didn't sound good. It's kind of interesting that Blackie has this reputation of being a super perfectionist, that he wants things a certain way. Well, maybe they were on point, but somehow that record to me doesn't sound very tight, very good. It's like very, very juvenile, very wild, and I mean, that's the appeal, I guess. It's raw. It sounds raw and it sounds raunchy, but it's kind of juvenile, and it doesn't sound very, how to put it, very honest maybe, or very natural. I don't know. I've read that they redid it and overdid it in the studio, so maybe that had an influence. But anyway, seeing a band live and hearing them on album is of course different. Of course, they opened with I Wanna Be Somebody, which is a classic. They played it nice, they played it well. They have a new guitar player who I forgot his name, but is very solid, nice, melodic, good keeping down the rhythm there, good solo. Then of course LOVE, My Love Machine. There was also no surprises here. They've been doing this for years. Then there are a couple songs that are not so famous, and it's good. I like it. I like those songs. I really like the songs that are from Hellion and on. So I think it's Hellion, Sleeping in a Fire, and then the last songs on the album. There's maybe one before Tormentor. I liked all of that. I think that on the normal record that you buy in the store, at least the way it was released, there was one song after Tormentor. Something, maybe The Pain Never Stops or something like that, and they didn't play that. Then they play a medley of the Electric Circus with I Don't Need No Doctor, and maybe one more from that record, which I was very, very happy about, because the Electric Circus to me was a fantastic record, my absolute favorite in the W.A.S.P catalog. I know that a lot of people hate it. It's like too cheesy, and the lyrics are like trying to go over the top. You know, when you say the F word 300 times on a record, then the next record, like, what you're gonna do it? Say 400 times? So you're trying to get over the top with the lyrics. There's certain songs in there. I think 9-5 Nasty, and I forgot what the other song's title is. Music-wise, they're all good, but the lyrics are like kind of stupid, trying to go over the top and be raunchier than raunchy. You know, they kind of describe a modern hardcore pornography scene, pretty much. I mean, stupid, but again, I don't listen to vocals that much, and much less the lyrics. Although Blackie is one of those singers whose vocals are pretty impressive, and he still got it. He of course doesn't sing like he did 20, 30, 40 years ago, but he still got the vocal. He's on point, and the voice is powerful, and the voice is nice. He has a good howl. I think that's how his voice is best described. He always goes with this ooh, kind of relatively high, not super high, and not necessarily a scream. But if you know W.A.S.P, you know what I'm talking about. He does it in many of his songs. So great concert, and of course they played the Headless Children. They also played the cover, the Who cover from that record. That's one thing that I love about W.A.S.P. Their covers are so good, almost invariably. I think all of the songs that they covered become very W.A.S.P. They make it their own without disrespecting, without overriding the original. So you can recognize the original if you know it, and if you don't, for the most part, they pass as bona fide W.A.S.P songs. So what's not to like? I like all of the show, and of course the encores were the famous songs from Last Command. What is it? I'm Blind in Texas. That was the show closer, as you would expect. And what's the famous one? The real famous song from The Last Command. Wild Child, of course. I'm a wild child. They did it great, and they put the music video on the background. kind of showing a younger Blackie, and to their credit, they left Chris Holmes in the music video. I don't know if it's a dig at Chris, but even without Chris, it would have been nice. He was a very unique guitar player, and the bass player was kind of bland, but that's always been like this with W.A.S.P. The bass player is, you only notice if he's not doing anything, then, oh, where did he go? But otherwise a mostly bland bass player. He was pulling the chain that hangs out of the mouth of the skull on the side of the stage, so kind of little antics. For those of you who expected all the pyrotechnics and throwing raw ground meat in the crowd, none of that. I think that that era is gone. It's stupid anyway. I mean, it would have been kind of nice and nostalgic, but Blackie moved. We moved around the stage. He went to each side of the stage. He acknowledged the crowd. He spoke. They did a very, very good. Oh, the opening, the intro to Wild Child. Well, spoiler alert. So if you're going to see them and you don't want the surprise to be spoiled for you, then don't listen from this point on. Okay, get out of the room, pause the video. But he did say that they are going to incorporate some changes and surprises into the set. Maybe not night after night, but pretty often. And he opened Wild Child as a semi-solo, so just him on vocal and accompanying on a straight guitar, not distorted guitar, just picking the notes. So that was kind of nice, and then the rest of the band just barge in and rejoin him. And I think they go on a break. They let the guitar player kind of do an extended solo, which was very nice. So all in all, I was very pleasantly surprised. Bitching about the venue. Well, this is a separate topic, but I think I've mentioned you in another video. There is this guy that I watch his videos, Zach Wild, and his name is Zach Atkins. Check out his channel. His channel is mostly dedicated to bitching about problems in the music world, music industry. So what really pissed me off is that this is a nice, very small, I would say intimate venue. You can see the musicians pretty up close. It's general admission only. And first of all, they put on the website, both Live Nation and the venue, that the show starts at 7 and doors open at 6. So I came at 7 o'clock and there was a 2-mile long line waiting outside, which is stupid, absolutely stupid, and it's mismanaged. I think purposely mismanaged to let the people stand out in the cold. You have to go through a security check and then another stupid check if you want to drink alcohol inside, which is completely stupid and preposterous, and they could have done everything inside, right? It's not pleasant and it's not right to make people wait outside, and in this case it was pretty cold that night, but the heat was pretty much the same. So I just said screw that. I went away, did something, and then came back right before the show began. And even so, there was still a short line out the door. So very mismanaged. Screw you, Live Nation and Ticketmaster. But I'll tell you that be very, very wary of these resale websites like StubHub, and there's a whole bunch of them. Vivid Seats, and Indiegogo or something like that. Not Indiegogo, but there's a couple of websites that resell tickets, and they con you into believing that they're charging the same fees as Ticketmaster and Live Nation, which is not the case. So after all the complaints, Live Nation and Ticketmaster finally did the good thing. I think that they were forced to do it. But be it as it may, now they advertise the final price. After all my shake my hand fee and good morning fee and this fee and that fee and the tax and the death tax and the excise tax and the sex tax and the tax tax, God only knows what else. But they show you the final price. So they show you X amount of dollars for the concert. That's what you're going to pay out of pocket. Whereas these sons of bitches, StubHub and I forgot what, there's a couple other big ones. They will advertise the final price that you can buy tickets on Live Nation, and they tell you that, oh, there's no more tickets on Live Nation or something like that. They obviously deceptive marketing and deceptive advertisement. So don't fall for it. Always check and check numerous. They're very close. They're a couple dollars from one another, but they will slap you on like $30-$40, something like that in fees. So that's what I didn't like. Obviously, it has nothing to do with W.A.S.P, I hope. And one complaint that I saw is that Blackie is hiding, so to speak, behind that big mic stand that he's using. It looks kind of like, for those who don't know, it looks like a handle of a motorcycle with a skull in the middle. So it's kind of bulky, so it's easy to hide behind. It stands on a platform, so it's a little higher, but if you're not tall or if you don't look from an angle, you can't really see him. Again, to me, it's not the highlight of the show, but I was lucky enough, number one, to be rather tall, but also that I stood in an angle that I could see him. So all in all, I enjoyed the show very much. It was a good show. The acoustic in the room were good. This venue also has a kind of a balcony or a second floor where you can go, and I went in the middle of the Armored Saint set. I went upstairs and I didn't hear a noticeable difference in quality. I think maybe the drum wasn't as crisp, but I might misremember. There was definitely a decrease in volume. When I was in the general admission downstairs, I would say 5, 6, maybe 7 rows of people, up to 7. So I might have been the 7th probably row from the stage. So let's just say something like 15 feet on average, right? If we allow for 2 feet space per person. And it was just a tad bit too loud. And W.A.S.P song, well, obviously you go to a concert like this, you can expect this song, but it wasn't hurtfully loud. Neither of them. Neither W.A.S.P nor Armored Saint. So the sound was good, pretty good quality, not superlative quality, not the best quality I ever heard, but unfortunately I've been to some concerts that the sound was just crap. Once I went to see, I think it was this last summer, I took my daughter with me to see Priest on the 3rd or 4th leg of the whichever tour they were milking before Invincible Shield. It was the 50th anniversary. That's pretty cool. But I bought tickets. Where the hell was that? It was a venue that wasn't the first time for me. Okay, so I used to go to that venue. I think I forgot which one already right now, but I was in that venue quite a number of times, and I was very happy with the acoustics, and I figured, let me buy tickets where we can get in a little bit closer. So I bought whatever was affordable in the general admission, in that this is not the venue that I've been last night with W.A.S.P. This is on the East Coast, a different venue. I think it was in New Jersey. indoor place, and I was very unhappy with the sound. So typically, I've been in that venue quite numerous times, and I typically buy tickets all the way in the back, facing the stage. So you see the people; they are very small. In other words, you're looking from far, but the acoustics are very good, which is what's really important for me. This time, meaning that time with Priest, there was something missing. Something that was, I think that the drum or something with the lower register where I was standing, there was kind of something very unpleasant, a part of the sound. Something was too shrill. I think that the cymbals were just like too piercing, give you like a bed, and something was missing, the mid or the low. I remember that I was not happy with, there was Queensryche. Queensryche was opening for Priest, and I loved the set. I was surprised that I liked the new lineup, because I listened to Queensryche up to the point that the Garmo left. I think in fact even before that record. But anyway, so that's what it is. If you don't know the venue, it's a hit and miss, and sometimes you just really don't have a control, because the other venue might be 5-6 hours drive from it. But all in all, I think very, very good concert. Those who are going to catch W.A.S.P on this tour, at least at the beginning of the tour, will enjoy the show. Maybe veterans who've seen them many times will be a little bit less thrilled. But again, those people don't come to rehash the same song. So there's a good variety here, and there's a ton of songs that they haven't played for a very, very long time, like School Days and BAD, all of those from the first record. And so there are a couple of surprises. All in all, very good, and I'm happy that I finally got to see them. And if you've seen them, or if you are going to see them, put something in the comments below. Let me know how it was, what you liked, what you didn't like, what I forgot to mention, maybe anything of that sort, and any kind of shenanigans. I would actually recommend that you go on Zach's, not Zach Wilder. I don't know why. I hear Zach, I naturally go to Zach Wilder. Zach Adkins. He spells it with a D, I think. Adkins. So check out Zach Adkins, or maybe DT. It doesn't matter. You can spell Adkins in a couple ways, with a T, with a D, with a D and a T. Anyway, go check out his channels, and if you have any complaints against these bastards who are gouging and defrauding the fans with any kind of shenanigans and fraudulent advertising, fraudulent marketing, just leave a comment for him right over there. In the meantime, have a good one, and go see W.A.S.P, and don't act like a beast. Be a human being. Take care.